Welcome to Things You Might Have Heard, brought to you by the Conversation Project, your home for headline news, information, and pop culture references that are worth chatting about. I'm Jake Payne, and on this Monday, 10 stories, as we always promise you, that you help vet as conversational from the weekend. Today, we have a whole lot of Donald Trump, and let me tell you, it's a whole lot of petty in the Donald Trump on today, plus Benjamin Yahoo and his own little bit of petty, and giving flowers to Manny David Rose, who passed away suddenly in a tragic event that probably should not have happened, but we'll get to that and the full details and tell you why he is mentioned here in our teaser part in just a bit. I want to remind you that our website home is a conversationproject.com. Check out our website and find out more about how we do, why we do, and where we're doing it across the internet, getting you conversational news topics to chat about. And of course, our spotlight sponsor for today is Ground News. Visit them at conversationproject.com/ground news. It's an affiliate link for us, which means get a small commission. You can get up to 40% off the plans they have for great news coverage. It's all that, all good, all awesome, all the time, we'll say. So, as we said, today is the 11th of August. It's Monday, and we have 10 stories for you today. 10 stories, 2 extra stories on a Monday, 8 stories for the rest of the week. And let's get into the roll call of stories. And I'll tell you right off the bat, 3 stories Trump related, Trump adjacent, and they are kind of on the petty side. Story number 1. Federal agents patrol D.C. streets as Trump vows major crackdown on crime in the nation's capital. Now, federal law enforcement agencies have been deployed across Washington, D.C. as part of a crime suppression initiative ordered by Donald Trump. Move follows a spike in violent crime statistics and public safety concerns in the city. Even though there is no spike in violent crime statistics, but there's always public concern and safety for the city. Critics are arguing that deployment is politically motivated and risks overstepping local jurisdiction. Basically, the mayor of D.C. is running D.C., not the president of the United States. It's sort of her job to run things. They have this little wiggle room because D.C. is a city that doesn't exist in any sort of state, although that city is large enough that it is bigger in population than many of the smaller flyover states out there. Supporters say it demonstrates a strong federal stance on restoring order. We'll get to more of that Trump quarter in a moment. And officials have not specified how long the patrols will remain active. Trump has said he's going to call the National Guard. He's going to federalize D.C., do what he can to stop the crime. Statistically, crime is down another 25% from what it was last year. So basically, crime is not as big as it should be or big as it was, even though the one crime that seems to be sitting out there, the attack on the guy we know as Big Balls, is sort of bringing the attention to Trump. And it gives Trump a chance to sort of puff out his chest and do his thing. What this will mean for D.C. and Trump going forward, we'll just have to kind of sit and ride this one out. The pettiness continues as Donald Trump has relocated some art in the White House. The Obama and Bush portraits have been put in a stairwell where they basically can't be seen. The portraits have been ordered officially moved by Donald Trump, and they're official portraits, White House portraits of Barack Obama and George W. Bush. A public display where they were to be seen by all walking through a little used stairwell that variously nobody walks through. They're traditionally hung in prominent West Wing locations as part of the bipartisan tradition. You basically keep all your past presidents around there, the newer ones, plus the more famous ones you want to. So if you want Lincoln and you want to have, Buchanan up there because you like Buchanan so much, you may move off Taft going back and forward, but you'll keep the last couple of presidents there because they're last couple of presidents. White House staff were reportedly not given any explanation for the change other than just move Obama, move Bush, go take and put in the stairwell. Critics view the move as a symbolic snub to political procedures, which Trump is pretty much good at. The Biden and Clinton portraits remain on display, oddly enough, but the Obama and the Bush one are gone. So you can read what you want to into the moves. A problem that all major cities have, but Trump, I think, is going to magically order to disappear, is with homelessness. As Trump directed that homeless residents in Washington, D.C. be relocated out of the public spaces immediately, essentially move them out of the way. This order includes an expanded law enforcement role in clearing out encampments, something that many places are doing. You're seeing Governor Newsom in California all of a sudden jumping on the bandwagon for removing the encampments, and people are starting to push back on their love for him because of that. The big question is, these people don't have homes. When they go somewhere, where do they go? The advocates warn the policy will displace vulnerable populations without offering long-term solutions. Where do they go? The administration officials say the effort is a broader plan to urban renewal and work on the cleanliness and the viability of DC itself and other places that basically you can kind of figure out what you're doing. Legal challenges follow over civil rights concerns. Essentially, there are right now laws in the books in some places where sleeping in a park is illegal, but if you have no place to sleep and you sleep in a park, where do you sleep? It's a conundrum. It really is a kind of a it's a tongue twister of a thought process, but it really comes down to what do you do with people who are vulnerable, people who have no place to go for whatever reason, and how do you fix it? You can't just give them a house because that doesn't fix things. You don't just throw money at them because that doesn't either. But it is an issue we here in Little Rock deal with it really extensively, as we are essentially a hub for many, not so much a sanctuary city, but a very big hub for many unsheltered people, homeless people that live in various areas, and they're everywhere. The problem is, if they're not here, where exactly are they? That's a big question that no one can seem to figure out how to answer and fix. Benjamin Netanyahu is defending his new Gaza offensive while promising wider military action. The Israeli prime minister is defending his new rush to push more military into Gaza, essentially overrunning it, taking over completely as a way to install peace by eliminating Hamas man by man. He promises that he will expand beyond the initial targets that they have right now. The big target right now is Gaza City, and then it's basically going to say just overrunning Gaza itself. The offensive follows weeks of heightened tensions over sporadic rocket fire from Hamas and some other players in the realm, if you will, but it becomes a big deal, a really big deal. Netanyahu is framing this operation as something that is totally necessary, something needed to dismantle the Hamas military infrastructure in the region. The international critics warn that the move is risking escalation on a broader regional conflict. Basically, this is the World War III match that people are watching. Humanitarian agencies report worsening conditions for civilians in Gaza. You heard about all the starving children. You've seen the pictures of people who can't get any food. You hear about now the journalists and people who are just there, just observing, who are basically saying they can't get basic food going forward either because of the situation. The whole situation is terrible. There should be a fix for it. I am just a guy yakking on the internet about news stories, so I don't have the fix for it, but there must be some way to eliminate some of the pain from this issue. More from Israel, as the Israelis have confirmed the killing of a prominent Al Jazeera journalist in the Gaza region. The Israeli military confirmed it targeted and killed Ismail Al-Ghul, a well-known Al Jazeera journalist known for doing work during the Gaza operations they've been running right now. Officials alleged that Al-Ghul was embedded with Hamas fighters, and that's essentially how it happened. Al Jazeera denies any allegations that he had any affiliation with Hamas. The killing has drawn condemnation from press freedom groups worldwide. Al Jazeera says it will pursue legal action and international forums for this action. Israel maintains the strike was consistent with military objectives. They were targeting not so much the activists, not so much the interviewer, not so much the journalists, but targeting Hamas. He was embedded with them, and because of that, it's essentially a casualty of the war that's happening. A little help, please, if you will. We need you to help us out by liking, sharing, subscribing the videos you're seeing right now and other works out there to the world to get more people involved. If you like these things, I know I'm picking the right news stories. I know I'm getting you good enough commentary. I know I'm getting you the stuff that you want to get to. So we need you to do that. Plus, the algorithms will share my bald head with other folks so they can get more of this going forward because it sees it as good stuff. If you share it directly with other people, that means they get it directly to them from you. So they should hopefully see this as something you trust them to see, and maybe they will engage, like, and share as well. And if you're not getting this directly, if it's someone shared it to you or it was from a like from the algorithm one day, make sure you're getting us directly into your feeds by subscribing. We give you this thing here live Monday through Friday, plus hot takes throughout the day, some more clips of the day as well, and some weekend fun stuff as well, and some big expanded stories when we have the time to write them out. So if you want to get more details and more things going on, check out our website. This is conversationproject.com, and like, share, and subscribe to help us grow the News Nerd Nation. A man named Rose is getting his flowers right now. And it's a sad, sad story we have to talk about right now, where the officer that was fatally shot near the CDC on Friday, we're giving him his props and also identifying the suspect in the shooting. The officer was killed in a shooting near the CDC headquarters near Emory University, Atlanta on Friday. No one knew at first what was going on. We still don't have a real motive. We have some ideas. But the slain officer, David Rose, is 33 years old. He has two children. His wife was pregnant with a third on the way. He joined the DeKalb County Police Academy in September 2024, graduated March 2025, a brand new officer on the scene, and he lost his life in this still nondescript, still no answers for this incident. GBI actually named Patrick Joseph White as the shooter. Authorities have not said whether he was killed by the police or killed by himself in the actual ending of the melee. Authorities have not disclosed the motive. His father has spoken out, said basically he believed the CDC and vaccines made him sick, worked in his mental health. He basically was anti-vaxxer, and this was essentially an attack on the CDC because of that. Shooting prompted increased security around federal facilities in the area, and investigation is ongoing to figure out what exactly is going on. Federal and locals are all involved. With much fanfare, OpenAI released ChatGPT-5, or GPT-5 exactly, and for testing on the future of artificial intelligence. The problem was not that great. The official release of GPT-5, touting improvements in reasoning, multimodal capabilities. AI could have fixed that one, and a long form coherence. Although AI wrote this, apparently it wrote it to take me down because AI is going to destroy us by making us incoherent, not by actually turning on us and shooting guns at us. The industry analysts view the launch as a bellwether for whether AI innovation can meet commercial expectations. Essentially, we have dreamed of what this magic thing should do, and it's not quite doing it. So this next step, even though Sam Altman, the head of OpenAI, warns that AI will kill us eventually, is going to sell us on more AI. Early users report better accuracy and reduced hallucinations rates compared to GPT-4. I've had a chance to play around with it myself as it sort of appeared in some places, although it disappeared and reappeared in some places where the rollout was a bit clunky, to be honest. Critics remain cautious, though, pointing out that persistent ethical and safety challenges to using AI, large language models, to do your work for you and what it means for you in research. And of course, it is stealing, it is cheating, it is taking someone else's paper and cribbing off of it. The rollout has expanded API access for enterprise clients. So if you're paying the big money for it, you get more use for it. And it's probably better for you. For me, on the $20 plan, it is what it is. And I spent the weekend rewriting, redoing, and resetting prompts so it would give me the things like I exactly want it, and not like one day it decides it wants to change things up. I would say it's getting better. I say 5 over the weekend was some improvements that were there, here, and there, and some questioning. It did answer some questions that I asked months ago and gave me better responses. Still is what it is. It can only work with what's going on. It's garbage in, garbage out, essentially. It can only deal with the prompts and the questions and what I'm asking for to its best knowledge. And then when you change one parameter, knowing not to change everything out there because it sees one sift. This thing was amazing. This was history made in history that people lived through, as Jen Powell becomes the first female MLB umpire, and she actually donated her cap to the Hall of Fame to go for this historic day. She made history as baseball's first female umpire for the major leagues. She donated her ball cap to the Hall of Fame following her debut. Promotion comes after years of work in the minors. So she's not just being brought up all of a sudden. She's been doing this for a while. Officials praise the milestone as a part of ongoing diversity efforts. There it goes, the diversity again. But essentially, what this means is the pool to pull from is larger. More females in the game officiating mean more people that you can pull on for officials. If you thought there was a shortage of officials going back and forth, you can now have more folks. This is why female coaches in male sports is a big thing, a good thing, because it's just more diversity, more folks to pull from. Female officials in other sports is a good thing because it's more people to pull from. This is good. Fans and players widely celebrated the moment on social media. No bad calls, no terrible calls, I should say. She's an umpire, so eventually she'll get one. And now that they're going with very soon the robo pitcher thing, I guess no one's going to kick dirt on her feet and get in her face and do belly bumps and get ejected. That would be awesome. Wisconsin faced extreme flooding this weekend, so much so that it had to have an early end to its state fair one day early because of severe storms in the area and the flooding in the vicinity. Thunderstorms and flooding and that's basically cut the state fair by a full day in Wisconsin because it was just too dangerous to deal with. Organizers closed the event for safety reasons after heavy rains damaged the infrastructure that was there. Vendors and attendees were evacuated with some losses of property due to all of the storms. Fair typically draws over 1 million visitors each year, so to do one less day is a little short for revenue. We'll see what happens in the back end. Cleanup and recovery efforts are now underway as the fair is done, shut, kaput, to get things out of the way and move on to what's going forward. The weekend, not dominated by superheroes, but by freaky stuff. Weapons, the horror movie, took number one. Freakier Friday was a close second. The thriller Weapons took the number one spot, outperforming Disney's Freakier Friday, despite all of the promotion and sort of the mysteriousness of Weapons, although that probably was what brought it in. Weapons was a big movie for the weekend, grossing $32 million in opening weekend, exceeding expectations by a bunch. Strong reviews and social media buzz drove ticket sales to see this Freakier show over the Freakier Friday, which was a strong second at 27 million. Industry analysts see the results as evidence of audience appetite for original thrillers. So the horror genre, not just, I Know What You Did Last Summer's removed back and forth 3 or 4 times, is coming back. Newer, more engaging horror type stuff, more thrillers are coming back to the big screens and people come see them. Plus, the nostalgia of Freakier Friday was there as well. So the freaks win big this weekend. Let's go to our spotlight sponsor, quick stop in with Ground News. Ground News is your best place to get all the coverage that you think you're missing, because you'll get all the coverage that you are actually missing. Most of it, at least. You'll find a way to see the headlines, some rundowns, and pieces with side-by-side comparisons from many different sources, many of them that will contradict each other in their tone, but hopefully not contradict themselves in the actual facts. Alternative facts was something that was made up, 10 years ago as just a throwaway line. It turned into the fact that what someone else says is their own truth, so it's true to them. It's not the way it works. Facts are facts. So if a story headline gives you a fact or gives you a line that makes sense, that's great. But at that point, most of the details we get in articles and from news agencies comes to a bit of a spin. How do you perceive it? How should it actually be ingested? How should it be interpreted? Based on your silo of news, they're interpreted in various different ways. And if you are a very stereotypically siloed person, Ground News can help you overcome some of those limitations by seeing what other silos are showing, especially if you use their blind spot feature, which shows you stories that are being overly shared, overly sold by one particular venue or another, because they want you to see how bad someone else is in something, or not so much how bad they are in something else. They'll show you comparisons based on how the organizations lean, whether they're more conservative or liberal, how they actually sort of score things back and forth, and you get a chance to see things from a real perspective. And you can choose your own adventure and how you want to cover your news, if you will. Check it out by going to thisistheconversationproject.com/ground news. If you do that and sign up for their Advantage plan, you get 40% off the plan, and we get a small commission back for you using us and our link. You will find your news will be more detailed news, maybe better news, when you use something like Ground News. It's a website, it's an app for your phones, it's there for you 24/7. So check it out. Use our link, affiliate link, so we get a small commission for Ground News. With all that said and done, we're done, and I'm done saying. This has been Monday's edition, the August 11, 2025 edition of Things You Might Have Heard. I am Jay Cleveland Payne. If you joined us for the live edition of this one, we're wrapping things up at 5:50 a.m. on this Monday morning. Thank you so much for being with us, rolling with us with the eyeballs that are there I can see here. So love you for that. If you're seeing this on a replay, let us know where you are, when you watched it, how you got it going forward. We'll clip some of these things up for some short takes, and we'll get a hot take in or so on some other stories as well for the day as we roll into other things. Things are going to get a little different if you're a longtime watcher, viewer, listener, if you're listening to the podcast, because this is the first week of school in town, so everybody's back to that schedule. We'll get back to a full-time, more distinct schedule going forward, as we are dedicated to continuing this. Had a summer of sort of flux, if you will, and going back into a fall of something that's more scheduled, more or set, something that's a bit more agendized going forward. You have all the rights and all the access to let me know what I can do to change, fix, and update. So email me at the conversation inbox gmail.com, or reply back in a comment on the video with, hey guy, you suck, or something like that. We'll do our best to fix it, or be less worse at it, if you will. Once again, love you guys so much. This cannot be done without you. We are proud to be here to provide you the news coverage we do, and to do that by giving you, as we said, information, headline news, and pop culture references that are worth chatting about. You help us do that by helping us and engaging the feeds, doing comments, and do what you can to help us out with those. We're out of here for today. Let's do this again for Tuesday. That'd be tomorrow. Tomorrow.